You know, we knew Bakersfield tonight was going to be a tough physical type of team and denying passing lanes. They have really good team quickness, and I've mentioned it prior to the game. You know, Rod Barnes does an amazing job of getting his guys to compete and battle. And when you play against a team like that, I believe that it prepares you for a lot of moments that we're going to have here in our future, which includes next week in the Bahamas. So it was a great test. In fact, we were able to shoot 55% from the field against their defense. And on our end, we weren't perfect on defense, but it was our best overall performance. To me, we collectively played better, harder. And although we had some breakdowns, you know, giving them 59 points, that even some shots they made were hard-earned, and they have some good players. So we'll take it, and we'll move on. You know, the two players, and I could highlight many, that really stood out. Number one, Alonzo. I mean, there's not a guard in college basketball that's playing better than him. He's 8 for 9 from the field. If you look at his overall shooting percentage, he makes it look easy. Matter of fact, I'm surprised when he misses free throws. Probably cost him another 30-point game. But the stat that I love the most about him is he had 4 assists and 1 turnover, and some of his passes tonight were great passes. So he's at a place where I thought he would be. You know, he's a preseason All-American, and that's how he's playing. And then in DeAndre's case, you know, it was interesting to watch him. He's so used to dominating, and everybody expects him to make things look easy. There are going to be moments where he's going to miss a couple shots. And, you know, at halftime, one of the things we tried to tell him was he was dominating the game with his rebounding and doing some other things very well. And his offense would come. And I'm glad it did, because he ends with 18 and 10, but I believe he had only 2 points at the half. His teammates did a really good job finding him, but it was great to see him put maybe a first half that he missed a few shots and things didn't go his way behind him, and play a really overall great second half. So that's the wrap-up there for the game.
When you have a player like Alonzo who's so dominant offensively, what have you instructed him about what you expect from him specifically defensively?
Well, we challenge him. You know, him and I have watched a lot of film here over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to continue to do so, because I think it's very important that him and I are on the same page. You know, I have great belief in him as a player. His numbers speak for themselves. But on our team, you know, him being locked in defensively on every play and guarding sometimes a terrific offensive player in his own right, while he's scoring, you know, that's what the great players do. And that's what we think of him. That's what he wants to be, and I believe he's well on his way.
He seems to not be trying to dominate things, it's just happening. Is that something that's developed over the last year or so of his career?
Yeah, it's what happens when players stay in school. It's what happens when players return for another year. You know, just like life, you're older, you're wiser. You know when to do things, maybe when not to do things on the basketball court. I know I always bring this up, but I can't say it enough. Nobody works harder on their game than him. He loves the gym. He's always in it. And, you know, I coached Alonzo in USA basketball before he came here, and he was a driver, very, very streaky as a shooter. And it's through his own determination and hard work that he's made himself into a great shooter. And that's part of why you see his efficiency, because it's easy for him, because he can score at all levels. The basket, foul line, from the three-point line, good in transition. And now it's just a matter of continuing to grow and refine that and always play tough defense. And, you know, I think that he'll emerge as an All-American, and that's what he is right now. But postseason and preseason are two different things, but I think his play speaks for itself right now.
They seem to be getting, he and DeAndre seem to already have kind of a chemistry that you can see develop. Is that just their personalities, their work habits? Like
yeah, those guys, they were trying to do the same thing. You know, they want to win badly, and both are very talented, but they've talked a lot. We've talked a lot. We have goals set very high for our team, and they want to win. You know, Parker, Jackson Cartwright, and Alex Barcelo are 2-point guards. I mean, those guys have a lot to do with it as well. They're playing excellent basketball. They're running the show. Both guys are hitting open men. I mean, they're not caught up in their own scoring. You know, in Alex's case, man, he hasn't had a turnover in his career. Think about that. 3 games, he's played in big moments. He's yet to turn it over. And his assist-to-turnover ratio and Parker's really stand out. But when you have that position locked in on playing team basketball and being the quarterback, it sometimes makes the game easier for people like DeAndre or, you know, Dusan, Alonzo. We're getting a lot of good minutes at that position.
You must like the way the team's efficiency in first this game and the past 2 games, just playing really together.
I think so. You know, it's disappointing. We had 13 turnovers. I think we had 4 in the last 3 minutes. You know, 2 at the very end when our guys are careless. And, you know, think about Bakersfield. They're going to play hard all the way to the end. And we had a few turnovers there that they show up on the stat sheet as 13. But for the most part, we played with 10 or fewer turnovers in that game. And against Bakersfield, if you can take care of the ball like that, that's good for our future. It's also really good because NC State, they press. They're going to extend the court, mix up different defenses. And tonight was a good test for us to prepare for that on Wednesday.
DeAndre Ayton said that we're going to see a lot more three-pointers from him in the next couple games. Does he have the green light to shoot as many as he wants, or how do you?
You know, he really does. He doesn't take bad shots. I mean, he doesn't. He's as unselfish of a young big guy as there is, and the ones he takes from 3 are good. I think part of what he's feeling is like he knows he's a much better shooter than maybe it's shown in the game. But he took 4 threes tonight. I thought all 4 were excellent shots, and I'm never surprised when he makes it. He makes them every day in practice. Now, I do think that we can start convincing him to maybe come in a little extra and work on it. And again, with a young player like that, things have come so easy for him that maybe working a little bit extra after practice, before practice, you know, getting in the gym some to work on that, I think that would serve him well. And that's the next conversation. So if he wants to shoot them, then we're going to shoot more of them on a daily basis, which he's always been willing to put the work in.
You're a numbers guy, but did you know or realize that Trier had 28 points and was too short of becoming the first player in 10 years to?
No, I would have left him in. Yeah, I would have. I didn't know that, and I wish I would have known that. But he did miss 3 free throws, so we're even.
Whose job is it to tell you that?
I don't know. You know, the only other thing with Alonzo, health is probably number one. And a lot of times you see that player unnecessarily get hurt in the very last 3 or 4 minutes of the game for no reason. So, you know, that always is number one, the team and his health. But if I would have known that, I would have kept him in. And believe me, he would have found a way to get 2 more points, I'm sure.
Like when DeAndre shoots those threes, a lot of them look like they were open looks tonight. Are teams rotating toward him when he shoots? Because there's the one where someone kind of came toward him, he passed, and Alonzo was wide open for one. So are teams kind of going at him when he's about to get that little pick and pop look?
You know, we're early, so I don't know if the numbers have evened out, but he's a very, very good three-point shooter, in part because he takes great threes. He's not looking to, you know, shoot contested shots. Your point on that one where they did rotate to him, it's one of the best plays of the first half. He found Alonzo, got Alonzo a wide open shot. But, you know, DeAndre had 3 assists and 1 turnover. And when you look at his assist to turnover ratio on the season, it's one of the biggest stats that I think makes him such a special player.
How many big young guys could make that baseline fadeaway shot that DeAndre made in the second half?
Not many. He's, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that are Arizona basketball fans that have seen great players over the years for decades, and I know a lot of our season ticket holders that have been coming to McKale for, you know, decades themselves have seen some of the best. But I don't know if anyone's ever walked in who's been better on day one. I mean, he's an excellent passer. He's very unselfish. He can shoot the ball, skilled, physically. He's right up there, and he's starting to get better defensively. He works at it, and he'll continue to work at it as well.
We've only had 3 games of results from him, but would you say, like on a pure talent level, that he's the best Arizona's ever seen?
You know, I haven't been here as long as a lot of other people, but I'll be safe and tell you he's one of the best, you know. But we're at the beginning stages. You know, part of the definition of being the best or one of the best is how you do in the biggest games, what type of team you're on. You know, where did the season end? What did you win? Were you able to win a regular season championship? Were you able to win a tournament, multiple tournament championships? You know, can you get to a Final Four? You know, what seed did you have in the NCAA tournament? That comes with talking about players like this as well. So he knows that, as does every player on our team. Alonzo's no different. And I think winning is a big ingredient towards us saying this is who he is. And we're in November. There's a lot of mistakes we're making as a team. There's certainly mistakes that DeAndre's making, our freshmen are making, and we're on a quest to just get better. How much better can we be in all aspects of the game next week versus this week? And, you know, based on the competition we're ready to face, we're going to have to be a much, much overall better team, and we're going to need our best players to play great for us to win down there, because these other teams, they have some answers as well.
Speaking of getting better, Raleigh, how close are we to seeing him? Because he looked pretty good out there today.
You know, he's working his way back. What you saw is he no longer has the boot. I think initially he was diagnosed as maybe 8 to 12 weeks. It's too early to tell whether that'll be more at 8 or 12. I don't think it'll be closer to 12, but he's working hard at rehab, and you know, we're not going to rush him back, but I do think he's making a lot of progress. Next week, when we're, I believe when we're in the Bahamas, it'll be either week 8 or 9, maybe week 9. So hopefully sometime after that, he has the opportunity to play. We'd love to have him back. I know he wants to get back.
So there's no chance in the Bahamas for him?
I don't think so.
What kind of confidence does a performance like tonight give your guys, especially as you mentioned, before they go to the Bahamas, they play NC State, they might have to play Villanova, they're going to play some of the best teams in the country. What kind of a confidence boost does this give such a young team playing so well tonight?
Well, I mean, you're right. It's every time you play, you learn a lot. You grow as a group. There's a lot of things we learned that were good tonight, and there's a lot of things that we need to shape up and get better at, especially from an individual aspect. You know, freshmen, you know, every time that they play, they have a chance to get better by leaps and bounds. And DeAndre's one of them. You keep in mind, he's a freshman. So tonight was a great learning experience. We're happy to be 3-0, but our team has confidence. We don't need any. We're good. What gives you the most confidence is how you do next week.
Sorry to interrupt the train of thought here, but I'm past deadline. I was just wondering, did you have letters from Brandon
Yep.
and Sharif at this point?
So I can comment on both Brandon Williams and Sharif, and it's exciting to have both of those guys joining our family and our future. I'm going to talk about Brandon Williams first. Brandon didn't sustain an injury, and I think that's important to note. He had something really more of a genetic thing with his leg that he was able to get fixed. To his family's credit, they did it at a time which is very smart, and he missed a lot of action. So he wasn't on the circuit this spring and summer. If he would have been, I believe he would be a McDonald's All-American guard. What we love the most about him is he can score and be a playmaker. Great off the dribble, physically strong. He can shoot the three-point shot. And I think the way the game's changing, where you put different guards out there at the same time, and you don't worry about as much what position they are, Brandon could be on the court with anybody. And we look for him to come in and make an immediate impact. We're thrilled to have him. He also plays for a great high school coach in a high school program that has produced some very, very good guards recently that have gone to college and had initial success. And we expect Brandon to do that. He's 100% healthy as well right now. You know, Sharif O'Neal, Sharif is, because he's Shaquille's son, you know, sometimes you almost want to compare the two. They're very different. You know, Sharif is today's version of a versatile forward wing player, very skilled, can shoot the three-point shot. I believe as he continues to develop, he'll be able to go both inside and outside. And you guys know this following our program. It's that hybrid forward, the versatile big wing that has thrived in our program. And I believe in time, Sharif will do the same thing. So both are, you know, excellent kids. And they know each other as well, which is awesome for them both coming here. And they're both from LA. They've played together. They know each other. And it's exciting to have both guys. And for us, I think it's really important for us to build off of that, where you have those two guys, and then as we get through this year into the spring, that I think our goal at the end would be to have a class of 5, to have 3 people join them, and feel really good about that group. But today's about those two, and I think Brandon and Sharif joining us is very exciting for our staff.
Those guys have made it clear they're committed, but I mean, they did want to sign the non-binding papers. I mean, is that kind of just the way maybe the best solution considering everything?
Yeah, very much so, and we're in constant communication with both of their families, and we'll do so all year.
What happened in Spain with the incident there? Are you guys taking any additional security precautions for a trip like this?
No, I mean, we're always in a secure environment. I mean, in the world today, anything can happen anywhere. But, we leave on Monday morning, and we'll be together with our group, and we're going down there to play basketball. Atlantis is a fun place, a beautiful place, but our players, 3 games in 3 days, shoot-arounds, practice, film, academics, because next week is week 14 of the semester, so we'll travel with our academic person, and a lot of our guys will be doing things academically. They won't have a lot of time.
Did you tell your players not to steal anything when they're out of the country?
Next question.
There's been talk tonight about getting rid of the one and done, having them just go straight to the NBA. I guess they're moving forward on that, and guys would have to go to college for 2 years if they get them. Just overall thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have any thoughts. I really don't. Hopefully the decisions that are made will be great for college basketball.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to follow up on the recruiting. You were saying 3 more maybe in the spring, but you could lose 5, 6, 7, 8. Who knows? I mean, could it come to that, or do you, and how? I was wondering in general, how have you been able to approach recruiting, considering a little bit of uncertainty? Maybe things clear up by the spring. Maybe not.
We're going to do the same thing we've always done, the best that we can, and each spring is its own separate spring. Can't go on what happened a year ago, a year from now. You have to take it for what it is, and you try to guide your team, your players, to make the best decisions for them. And whatever those decisions are, we react to those decisions and try to put the best team on the court for our overall program.
How much more do you think about like the reclass type stuff, where you guys got Emmanuel and then Duke gets Bagley, where you're fitting that in?
Again, I don't have a lot of thoughts on that. If young people are able to do it and it's good for them, great.
It does seem like, following up on that, it just does seem like, in general, you have guys reclassifying late, you have grad transfers. I mean, it seems like, if you need a guy into June, even July or August sometimes, is it easier now? I mean, to get a decent guy at that point, maybe the way the game's kind of gone?
No, I mean, it's never easy. It's, every recruiting situation, it takes a lot of work, and there's nothing easy about it.
If I can go back to the efficiency question I have, but not so much with the turnovers, just about the offensive. Tonight, there was points in the game where passes were crisp, movement, a lot of movement. It looked really nice, almost mid-season form. I know it's not, but you must like that.
Yeah, one of the things that was lost is they went zone for a few possessions, and I love the way that our guys moved the ball against the zone, the confidence that they had. We created great shots through team play, and that's been one of our early season emphasis, to make sure that we're as comfortable as we possibly can be against changing defenses. And that's going to be a big part next week, where you play a game, for example, on a Wednesday or first game, and it's like all of a sudden the next day, without any practice, you're playing against a completely different style. So that's a test. But we moved the ball well. Like I said, 13 turnovers is deceiving because 3 or maybe 4 happened in the last 3 minutes of the game.
You also went 1 for 6, I think, the final few minutes to
Yep.
mess up the efficiency. And also good to have a guy like Trier who's playing the way he's playing. Yeah.
No, Alonzo makes us very efficient. If you look at 8 for 9 from the field, 9 for 12 from the line, he's 3 for 3 from 3. great offensive players make the team look good, and right now that's how he's playing.
You mentioned NC State. I was just curious in general, the Atlantis tournament, kind of, what are you looking for? Is it kind of compared to the Maui tournaments, where you play 3 in 3 days against pretty good teams?
Yeah, three games in 3 days is very challenging. It is. It tests your depth. It tests your starters, guys that play heavy minutes. But you learn a lot about your team. Your team grows from that experience. A year ago, we lost to Butler, and it wasn't a 3-game and 3-day event. But we really improved after we lost to Butler because we had our team's attention. We were able to, I think, fix a few things that needed fixed, and it made us grow and move forward. So regardless of what happens next week, we're going down there to win, but, playing just at home or not playing great competition, it only does so much for you. Next week, we have both of those challenges.
What's the difficulty of playing in a tournament overseas and when players are used to going home with families for Thanksgiving?
Well, college basketball, you really don't get a chance to go home. You don't for Thanksgiving, just because. And again, they really don't go home either. If you look at freshmen today, they play in the same Thanksgiving tournaments. They fly all over the country. A lot of our freshmen have traveled at this same time as we're going to travel. But we will be together over the holidays, and and that's a powerful thing. The more time you spend together, I think the more camaraderie that develops, team chemistry, and we're going to be together for a week down there.
With DeAndre, he seems like a very calm, confident guy. Nothing seems to faze him. I didn't know him going home. Do you expect any pressure at all around him, just playing over there, and could that affect him?
I don't think so. DeAndre's, when you're him, you have pressure every day you get up. Everybody expects the world, and that's all. That's part of taking care of him, and looking after him and developing him. That he doesn't need to feel like he's the savior. He just has to be himself, and he has to, just like everybody, have a great week academically. Go down there, be the best he can be. Listen, learn, be coachable, work hard in practice, which he's done every single day that he's been here. And you know what? His talent will take over and speak for itself. And we say the word process a lot, but that's never truer when you start to coach a guy and evaluate DeAndre Ayton. He has high expectations because everybody who deals with him expects things to be easy for him. And you know what? They're not. He has to work just like everybody. And but that's part of him coming here, that I think we want to develop that. Just like the first half, I'm sure he was disappointed he didn't score more in the first half. But, man, he was great in the second half. And just watching him put that first half behind him and still have a great game, that's how you grow and learn as a player, and that's how you figure different things out. For example, at halftime, he had 7 defensive rebounds in one half. He made some really good defensive plays. So reminding him that he was doing some things well in the game and not scoring, again, that's powerful for him to learn, because at the end of the day, he's still 19 years old. So, but I believe he'll go down to the Bahamas and play really well.